Tomorrow is the long-awaited South Carolina Republican primary. That's why we're here in South Carolina. Of course, it is Donald Trump versus Nikki Haley.
Trump has had several surrogates campaigning for him all across this state.
And one of them joins us now, South Carolina Senator and former presidential candidate, Tim Scott. Tim, thanks so much for being here. Really appreciate it. So, Senator, just set the overview for us. We've been waiting for a long time for this primary in South Carolina.
Yeah.
There were many, now there are two, but there's also a very big lead for Donald Trump in this state. Give us the context of this race happening tomorrow night.
Well, it's an important race because South Carolina, we choose presidents. Republican voters tomorrow will choose the Republican nominee, and the rest of the country, they're sitting there watching to make sure that we finish our task and send this race not to Super Tuesday, but to fight against Joe Biden, to fight for the future of America. What we need now is to be very clear. Any other day after tomorrow, talking about Republican primaries is a day wasted not talking about Joe Biden. If you want low unemployment, you want low inflation, you want low crime, it's time to recognize we were better off under Trump. And so the good news tomorrow, Republican primary voters will decide by a margin of over 20 points, Donald Trump should be the next president of the United States. And guys, here's one of the most important indicators. The Trump campaign off and running. The Haley campaign now sending out direct mail pieces, asking Democrats and independents to vote in the Republican primary. That is a sign of desperation, but that is what's getting into the mailboxes here in South Carolina.
So is that the number? Is that what the campaign thinks? You guys might, or rather Donald Trump might beat her by only 20? Because, you know, the polls make it look like it's a much bigger number.
Well, the way I look at it is you always go low when you're making predictions, so you're overshooting when the results come in.
That's smart.
So I'm never going to say the 33-point lead that he currently has. I know one thing for sure. He's going to win by double digits. I can guarantee you that that will happen. But I also believe that the size of the margin tomorrow will not be a surprise. So the polls show 25 to 33 points. I'm always going to be conservative in my estimates. But more importantly, I want to set up the rest of the country to take a look at the fact that South Carolinians have voted. New Hampshire's done it. Iowa's done it. Nevada has done it. This race is over. It's time for Republicans to turn our attention towards Joe Biden to save America economically, to save America from chaos, and to save the world from issues in Ukraine, from conflict in the Middle East, and from aggression, China versus Taiwan. We need 4 more years of Donald Trump.
Senator, I know that you're endorsing him. We saw you sitting in the audience when Laura Ingraham had Trump on for that town hall, or that rally town hall in Greenville. And he talked about the VP shortlist, and you were definitely one of the ones that was mentioned, and he pointed you out in the audience. Has he talked to you about this? Would you accept it?
Ainsley, he's not talked to me about it, but one of the things I've tried to do my entire career is to make sure that the mission is more important than any position I find myself in. And so my only goal is to make sure that Donald Trump gets 4 more years to prove to America that the best, brightest city on the hill is under his leadership, and that the world will respond positively to someone that they respect and have a little fear for. So I don't really think about Tim's sweeps. I think about Donald Trump being our president. Whatever it takes to make sure that's a reality, I want to be on that train.
You know, Senator, you talk about Donald Trump's ability to focus on the general, that this race is over, he should be able to focus on the general. Well, you know who's focused on the general big time right now is Joe Biden. And he recently released another $1.2 billion in student loan relief, all with an eye toward young people, saying, Harry, here's your money back, come vote for us. Your reaction?
Yeah. Well, there's no doubt that hundreds of thousands of folks received an email just a couple of days ago from Joe Biden saying, listen, I'm going to absolve you of all your debt, student loan perspective, for one reason. The courts have already said it's unconstitutional. The Supreme Court has already ruled it is unconstitutional for Joe Biden to forgive student loan debt. He's going to do it in a tailored fashion, hoping to change the minds of millennials. This is a stunt for the general election. It's unbelievable what we're seeing from this party. The Progressive Party continues to try to give away and send us towards socialism and then sell that as a general election strategy. Terrible.
No doubt. Absolutely. Well, Senator Tim Scott, you're going to be a busy man for the next couple of days. Thanks for taking time for us.
Thanks for joining us.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.